how to stop being nervous around girls, and especially the ones that you find very attractive. So most men don't realize how much this is actually killing their results with the opposite sex, okay? So if you're nervous around a girl, there's almost no chance that she's gonna wanna, there's almost no chance that she's gonna be attracted to you, man. It just is what it is, and it's because your vibe is off. So what I would say is, you know, it's important to like try to look good, right? Like have good grooming, have good fashion, like, you know, like look healthy, okay? But those things are kind of like just enough. They're like entry-level stakes. They're not actually the thing that's really gonna drive the attraction. So what most men don't see is that your vibe and not being nervous, being able to be like carefree and loose is literally the sauce that actually creates the attraction. So like as men, we tend to actually optimize for the wrong things when it comes to women. So we tend to actually optimize for like, well, we'll get big muscles and we'll have a lot of money and like we'll have a nice car. But the truth is, when you're out meeting women, they don't give a fuck about that, okay? What they care about is like the guy's vibe, his swag, his confidence, his ability to crack a joke, the fact that he gives zero fucks, the fact that he's super chill, the fact that he's like, yo, what up, okay? So like, that's the actual thing that drives the attraction. So for most men, they're nervous around the opposite sex, and especially around a woman that they find attractive, and this basically kills your results, okay? So let's talk about how to fix this, all right? So first, we have you focus on what's actually gonna drive the result, which is being carefree, being loose, being able to crack jokes, being able to do a walk and talk into the camera. Like, this is just another version of it, but like basically being able to like be a vibe and kind of like not care and like roll up and be like, yo, what up? Like tease, joke, flirt, banter, like all of that stuff, which is really based off not being nervous. All of that stuff is very hard to do when you're tight, very hard to do when you're nervous, okay? So in this video, I'm gonna break down how to have that not be the case, all right? So when I coach a guy, I'm really focused on helping him get loose. I'm really focused on helping him get carefree. Like, I'm focused on helping him like kind of get into the flow, get into the vibe, and like drop like the more logical part, right? Like that's really what I'm focused on with a guy, okay? Is like showing him how to get loose, how to get carefree, how to get in his own vibe, because I know that once I clear that shit out of the way, his personality will come through, his vibe will come through, and lo and behold, the ladies will respond, okay? So the first thing I work on with a guy, and this is what you should also do, is that transition from tight to loose, okay? And on the first couple, they're not gonna go that well. It just is what it is, right? So if I'm working with a guy, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, okay, you see that girl that you think is attractive, I just want you to go up and just say, hey, I'm a little bit nervous to do this, but I thought you were cute and I wanted to say hi. That's it. What I'm having you do is own the feeling. The reason that nervous feeling persists is because you're resisting it and you don't want to feel it and you don't want to own it. But as soon as you own it, it kicks it out, okay? So the first thing I have a guy work on when he's like, hey, nervous around the lady folk, I'm like, cool, we're gonna go out, we're gonna find a couple girls you think are attractive, and then you just own it. You go, hey, I'm a little bit nervous to do this, but I thought you were cute and I want to say hi. And that's it. Just introduce yourself, bounce out of the interaction, and then do it again, and then do it again. And what happens is we start to kind of like regulate your central nervous system and get you to kind of relax, get you to like loosen up a little bit, okay? So that's the first thing that a guy should do in order to kind of like lower that. He's like, hey, I'm nervous around girls. I'm like, no worries, baby. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have you own it, okay? We're gonna have you go up, hey, a little bit nervous to do this, but I think you're cute and I wanna say hi. And that's it. That'll kind of bring the level down, okay? So that's the first thing when a guy's at a DEF CON 9 of like, I'm nervous around girls that I find attractive. The second thing I have that guy do is go around in the venue and start kind of like just chatting up other people, including other guys. Be like, yo boys, like, welcome out, happy Friday, happy Saturday, like, how you guys doing? And just kind of getting more comfortable in the environment with the men in the environment. I know that sounds weird, but like when you actually create connections with other guys in the environment and you kind of chit chat and you say hi and you say hello, that also relaxes your nervous system because you're kind of like, oh, these other guys aren't as much of a threat. So the first one is having the guy own his feelings and just like own it to help kind of like bring it down and like have his system relaxed. The second thing is having him chat up a couple of the guys in the environment and just like introducing himself and like saying hi, be like, okay guys, how you doing? Happy Friday, which is another thing that will like lower that, okay? At this point, that guy is like more set up for success. He's not feeling so nervous. He's not feeling so tense, okay? Now the third part of this of, you know, hey, I get nervous and I don't really want to have it happen anymore. The third part of it is like getting that guy to like not take things so seriously. So as guys, we're so linear, we're so logical, we're so in our head and we're so tight and we take things so seriously. And what's crazy is like all of the attraction triggers are on the other side of that. Like just getting the guy to like drop that and not take everything so seriously actually opens up his energy, opens up his vibe, opens up his personality, opens up his expression. Like just having him focus on not taking everything so seriously, okay? So the third part is like working with that guy to help him like not take it all so seriously and be able to like joke around and be carefree and be like self-deprecating and kind of like teasing himself and being like, hey guys, I'm gonna go over here and just get shot down real quick. I'll be right back. Like, hey guys, if you want to see someone utterly fail, pay attention because it's about to happen. Like that is the other part of like getting him to not be so tight and to not take it so seriously. And like this is really under optimized by guys. They think that they can like just like muscles and money their way into it, but like that actually makes their vibe tighter. Like that doesn't actually help them. So it's really actually getting the guy to not take it so seriously, okay? So this is really the most effective way to take a guy who's like, hey, I'm kind of like nervous around girls and whatever, and it's like, okay, first of all, you're cooked, homie. Like you're not even gonna be able to get them because like you're so nervous, and like having him understand like, hey, we need to optimize for this. Like the money and the muscles, they don't give a fuck about that, bro. Like when you're in the venue and you're chit-chatting, it's more how are other women reacting to you and how are other men reacting to you, and that's like what's really driving it. And so your ability to like be loose, be carefree, be able to joke, be able to play around, be able to banter is really what's going to drive it. So for a guy, it's having him own the feelings, going up and saying, hey, I think you're cute, right? And like, I'm a little bit nervous to do this, own it. Number two, having him kind of like just say what up to the other guys in the environment. That also just kind of like, oh, okay, these other guys aren't a threat. And then number three, there's like this element of like playing your own instrument, right? Like figuring out kind of like what you need to do so that you can go from like really tight to not taking everything so seriously. And that generally looks like teasing yourself a little bit, like making fun of yourself a little bit, like, you know, like having kind of jokes and things that you say that kind of like orient you more towards the fact that it's all a trick, okay? Now, here's a deeper point when it comes to this, okay? Which is, it's an illusion. It's all a trick. Like, the girls like paint on their faces and they draw on their faces and they wear the push-up thing, and like all of this like creates this like halo effect and creates this frame where like they're the prize and you're like, you know, a fucking nothing burger, but it's a fucking illusion, okay? And so like once you kind of get more carefree, you stop taking it so seriously. You're like, whatever, like, you know what I mean? And that is when it like opens up. The fact that you're able to be so carefree about it, and the fact that you're able to like chill, like it opens up. They love it, dude. Like, I'm telling you right now, like that's the sauce, dude. Like, you know, I know you may find this hard to believe, but your boy does all right, dude, and has. And a lot of it is the fact that you're just like, whatever, dude, take it or leave it. Now, inside, you're still like, ooh, I really want that. Like, you know, daddy wants to get after it, right? But you are able to treat it like it's not a big deal and just kind of flow and vibe, and you're kind of teasing them, you're kind of pushing away, you're like, what, dude? Like, get out of here. I'm like, who told you that you can just roll out like this, dude? Like, what are you, on my turf right now? Like, that type of like playful, I'm like, hey, keep it down. Keep it down. We're trying to enjoy our time here. You guys are crowding our vibe, dude. You guys are killing our vibe. Like, you know what I mean? That type of like a playful thing, because you're not taking yourself so seriously. You're not so trapped in your head. So below this video, I put my email. Shoot me a message. Tell me where you're at on your journey. I'd love to hear what you're working on. Drop a comment on this video. Tell me what your experience has been. Love you guys. Todd out, but as always, I shall return.